Welcome back everyone, this is GTA Failer. In our last video we tackled the Diaz mission called The Chase, where we chased the leader of the street wannabe gang from his apartment to the gang hideout. This video is all about the next Diaz mission. It's called Phnom Penh 86, and the idea behind this mission is that we're going to go to the street wannabes gang hangout, which is like a whole ton of buildings over on Prawn Island, and we are going to kill them all and then get Diaz his money back. Ricardo Diaz is about to say a word gallo, subtitled Gallo, that I spent maybe 30 minutes trying to find the meaning of, and I failed. So let's listen to that line right here.
Soon any mom and pop will think they could sell gallo in Vice City.
We're going to come back to that word in just a minute, but there's major plot stuff happening and also a slight error with the helicopter programming up ahead. According to the wiki, the Maverick scene in this next cutscene before the mission is orange colored and has slide rear doors, but once the mission starts, the helicopter reverts to a normal swing door red colored Maverick.
What are you doing here?
Hey, I've been asking around. It's obvious that Diaz jumped the deal and iced my brother.
And he'll kill you too.
I can take Diaz.
No, listen to me. I'll handle Diaz. He's beginning to trust me.
The wiki is spot on in terms of the door changing from that cutscene that we just saw to the rest of this mission, with the helicopter now having a regular swing door. I don't think I would call the original helicopter orange. I would say it's like more burgundy, like a darkish red. But for sure, in the rest of this mission, it is a lighter, brighter red than it was in that cutscene. From the wiki, when the Maverick passes under the Lynx Bridge, if the player looks to the rear, a Spanned Express worker can be spotted jumping off the bridge into the water below. The camera must be pointed behind the helicopter to see this. While flying to Prawn Island, a sparrow and a sea sparrow can be seen flying away from it. This is the only time in the game where a sea sparrow is controlled by an NPC. Also, major plot point, as we just heard, Lance has pretended to be a guy named Quentin in order to get in with Diaz, and he's been asking around, and it's clear to Lance that Diaz is the guy who set up the ambush in that drug deal gone wrong way back in the opening cutscene for this game. So now we know that Diaz was responsible for stealing the drugs, stealing the money, and also the death of Lance's brother, Victor Vance. Lance wants to get revenge on Diaz. Tommy says that he'll take care of it, and I'm certain Lance won't take matters into his own hands and have things go horribly wrong. In order to pass this mission, we have to get through 7 different scenes where we need to shoot everything that moves. Once we've killed everybody on the ground in a particular scene, Lance will fly off to the next scene. Sometimes he seems to get stuck in the current scene even when everybody is dead, but eventually he moves on to the next scene. And after dispatching of all of these street wannabes in the 7 scenes, Lance will drop us off on foot, and we have to go into the mansion that we discovered in the last mission, The Chase, and go retrieve Diaz's money. Recall that the name of this mission is Phnom Penh 86, so 1986 is the setting of this game, and from the wiki, the name of this mission is a reference to Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia, which was used as a base by the North Vietnamese Army and Viet Cong during the Vietnam War. Other references to the Vietnam War include the use of the M60, a weapon equipped on the UH-1 Huey helicopter which was used during the Vietnam War. Passing this mission awards $2,000, unlocks all of the bridges between all of the islands in Vice City. It also unlocks the next Diaz mission, the next Cortez mission, and the third and final Avery Carrington mission, assuming you've already done the first 2 Avery missions, which we have not at this point. Take a look at the dragon on the back of the jacket of this gang member. This is the gang leader of the street wannabes, the same guy that we chased in the last mission in our last video. I'll also pause when we get on foot and get up to the top of this building, and we'll see the same fuchsia belt that the wiki pointed out in the last mission. So as we wrap up this mission, let's get back to that Ricardo Diaz line. Soon any mom and pop will think they can sell gallo in Vice City. So because the double L was pronounced like a Y, that sounds to me like it's Spanish, not English. So I looked up gallo online, and it has a bunch of meanings, none of which make sense in the context of that sentence. So the main meaning is rooster, like the bird. Another possible meaning is a strange pitch, either in singing or speaking. Colloquially, it might mean a tough guy. In Mexico, it might mean a serenade, like a song. Or in Mexico, it might mean a wad of spit, like a loogie. And again, none of those things make sense. So my best guess is that gallo is some kind of a street slang word for a drug, like maybe drugs in general, or a specific drug like cocaine because he's Mr. Coke. but I just couldn't find anything. I looked so hard. So if you know some Spanish, if you know this word, or if you can look up and tell us in the comments below, we'd love to hear, or at least I would love to hear, what this actually means. Once we have the money, Lance picks us up and flies us back to Diaz's mansion, and mission passed, 2,000 bucks. Plus, check out the note in the top left. Storm warning over. All bridges to the mainland are now open. Awesome. The entire game is open to us now. I'm going to show you some glitches and fails. First, I'll type in Big Bang, which blows up all vehicles in the game, sadly, including the helicopter I was in. And then I'm going to let this helicopter get destroyed, but I will type aspirin, which is the cheat code which refills my health and also the health of any vehicle that I'm driving or flying. And I thought it would refill the health of the heli, but it didn't because I wasn't the one flying it. It was Lance. Next, I'm going to show off a glitch involving replays in this mission. So first, take a look at the range of motion that my camera has. I can see a little bit of the helicopter off to the right. I can look up as high as you saw right there. And then when firing, it's, I don't know, maybe 3 bullets a second, something like that. Off video, I made a replay in the soiree outfit icon, and I'm going to play that replay and right click. And if I do it correctly, you see, first of all, this really strange shot of Tommy outside the helicopter standing on air. So I've got this real free range camera and I can shoot at 1 bullet per frame. Oh yeah. Take that, boats. Oh, this Sea Sparrow is going to get it. Did I get that one? I did. Eat it, Sea Sparrow. Yeah, so this is a technique, a glitch that speedrunners use to make this mission go faster because they can fire much faster, they can clear the 7 scenes faster, which allows Lance Vance to fly the helicopter to the next scene faster. Oh yeah, 1 bullet per frame, that's the good stuff. So I'm going to skip through the rest of the scenes. Nothing eventful happens other than me firing way faster than the game intended. And now here at the end, because I've got this free range, I can actually shoot Lance. See ya, bud. All right, so this was maybe not the best plan because I'm still physically attached to this helicopter, and whatever is supposed to trigger my release from this helicopter didn't trigger because Lance was dead. So I wasn't sure if I was soft locked or what, but it turns out that the helicopter is getting slowly damaged all the time by running into the ground, so it blows up and I blow up. So here's another attempt. Final scene here, taking out the leader of the street wannabes, taking out Vance. Oh man, he just ragdolled out of the helicopter. Poor guy. But this seems worse because at least Lance's torture was over immediately. Oh, there he is. But here we just have to wait and see while the good luck brother message stays on the screen, taunting us. Mission fail. Oof. Okay, so I've learned my lesson. No more killing Lance, at least no more killing him in this way. So here he drops me off, well, I don't know, 5-6 feet off the ground. He cost me 5 hit points. He needs to pay for that. I said no more killing Lance, but I didn't realize he was going to drop me from the sky. That's not cool. So I was curious where he went because I've never done anything at this point in the mission other than go into that, that building with the graffiti on it. So let's take out the sniper. I was trying to shoot Lance. I actually ended up shooting the helicopter until it was on fire. Oh, that ain't good. So in this case, we're going to fail, and we're going to get the message, you killed Lance, which is interesting because we also killed Lance twice while he was in the helicopter right before he dropped us off, but we didn't get the you killed Lance mission fail before. So in this attempt, I decided after we get through the 7 scenes, I'm not going to go into the mansion at all. I'm actually going to head towards my favorite fake concrete pillar over here, and we're going to jump into it. And we're going to, 8 times speed the trip over to the news helicopter, the BCN helicopter. I wanted to know what would happen if I just took a helicopter right to the top of that building with all the gang members in it. So we're not going to kill any of the gang members in that building. And we're just going to see if we can proceed with the mission. So we can see that the briefcase full of money is there, but I was surprised to see bullets because I thought I killed all 3 of the guys that were on the rooftop here. And I'm looking in the sky like, who is shooting at me? Where are these bullets coming from? And eventually it dawns on me, they're actually coming from the roof. They're coming from the stuff I'm standing on right now. And then there's this guy at the top of the stairs shooting right through the wall of this little shed area here. So we'll take him out, right in the nuts. And head down, and we'll see all of these guys here shooting at me. Now, they can't shoot through this wall here, but apparently there was no collision detection built into the roof right above all of those guys. And so, I'm just looking down, and you can see my health is at 72 there in the armor, and we get hit at 65. That's lame. How can I get hit through a solid roof? Doesn't make sense. I really hope that Rockstar fixed that in the definitive edition. But anyway, you can use a helicopter. Mission passed. Here's my final attempt at this mission. The only challenge I could think of was to try to YOLO it when I'm on foot and just go into that mansion without any weapons and just see if I can survive running all the way to the top without taking out any of the gang members inside. In the meantime, I can read about the person who does the voice acting for Ricardo Diaz. His name is Luis Guzman, reading from his wiki page. Luis Guzman, born 1956 in Calle, Puerto Rico, is a Puerto Rican actor and voice actor. His numerous movie credits include Carlito's Way, Rise to Power, Welcome to Collinwood, Beverly Hills Chihuahua, Fast Food Nation, Turbo, Dumb and Dumberer, Yes Man, and We're the Millers. He provided the voice of Ricardo Diaz here in Vice City and also Ricardo Diaz in Vice City Stories. Since we have a couple of minutes while I work on my challenge mission here, let me go back to reading from the beta releases wiki page, and now we'll talk about mission stuff that was changed or cut. A mission involving the removed character Mr. Moffat was cut. It would involve Tommy helping Moffat escape. Yeah, we talked about that when I was reading about cut characters. An additional mission for the film studio asset given by Steve Scott over the phone was cut. According to a pre-release screenshot, an M4 was used in the mission Supply and Demand rather than the Ruger. According to unused files, there was a fourth mission for Love Fist, possibly connected to a concert of the band which would involve killing the Psycho for good. In All Hands on Deck, the original enemy group was meant to be the real-life Peruvian communist organization called Shining Path instead of the French agents. Lance Vance originally didn't betray Tommy. In Cap the Collector, there was a single target rather than multiple collectors. The message which triggers the mission marker was also triggered by a pager rather than a phone call. In Guardian Angels, originally the player would have had to fight off the attackers while Diaz escaped. In Naval Engagement, there was going to be a boat chase between the Haitians and the player. In Waste the Wife, repeatedly ramming Mrs. Dawson's vehicle would result in the wanted level being raised. In Hit the Courier, there was originally no helicopter, and the courier was a man. The party was originally called Colonel's Party. Shakedown was originally called Ram Raid. Trojan Voodoo was originally called Trojan Van. An additional mission for Avery Carrington, given by him over the phone, was cut. And we actually have a little bit of info about this cut mission from Avery. So reading from the wiki about Gator Keys, which is also referred to as South Keys, is a coral key archipelago in the state of Florida, briefly mentioned in Vice City and Vice City Stories. Unused mission dialogue found in the file American.gxt heavily implies that Gator Keys was originally meant to physically appear in-game. And then we have a very brief dialogue between Avery and Tommy Vercetti, presumably to start this mission that was cut. We think the mission was called Chaperone, and now here's the dialogue starting with Avery. Hey Tommy, it's Avery. Now listen, I got me all tied up at the moment, and I have a representative of mine needs chaperoning out to the Gator Keys. I'm after some land out that way, so I'm sending someone out to sweeten the deal. Could you do me a favor and make sure he gets there okay? Yeah, sure thing, Avery. Where do you want me to pick him up? He's just finishing some business at the building site. I said you'd pick him up from there. No problem. See you later, Avery. This dialogue text is the only evidence of the cut mission, and there is no audio file associated with the phone call. As you saw, we passed our pacifist attempt running through that derelict mansion. I lost about 50 hit points, mostly from the guy at the top of the stairs leading to the roof, but we got there in the end. Here you saw that I took another phone call. This one was from Cortez, which unlocks the next Cortez mission. You can see the C is now back on the map, but also there's the D icon because the next Diaz mission is available, and we still haven't started the Avery chain of missions. That's the A on the map. I filled up my armor over at the construction site, and now we're just heading back to Diaz's mansion in preparation for the next mission. So if you have any thoughts or memories on this mission, Phnom Penh, leave them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you real soon.